Good evening and welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening on the launch of our autumn's release. Tonight we're very privileged to have with us Mackmyra's Master Blender and Chief Nose Officer. I never get used to that. Angela Desorario. I can never get my head around that one either. Hello, Angela.
Jane, we need to rehearse my surname.
I know it's terrible, isn't it? And all the way from Italy.
Oh, excellent.
Hello.
Go on, attempt my surname.
And from Italy, online manager John Bergbeck is joining us as well tonight.
Hello.
Guys, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. And just to let everybody know before we start, we have Richard Meakin in the back and Gareth Bell at the back answering questions. So you'll see on your screen there's comments. You can write comments and the guys will get back to you with questions and answers. And we'll also flag them up as we go. So if there's anything you want to ask us, please ask the questions. We'll try to answer them on screen. We have Angela here. If we can't get to them, Richard or Gareth will get to you. But welcome, and I hope you enjoy the show. Guys, fantastic, isn't it? Great.
Mm-hmm.
Release
always good
new
product release. Love them.
It's fantastic. So Mackmyra is, traditionally one of these companies that keeps pushing the boundary of traditional Scottish and world whiskey, should I say. And they keep using the influence of Swedish nature and craftsmanship in whatever they do. And again, they've done it again now with Yaklica. I mean, happy hunting. Who wouldn't have thought? Happy hunting. Angela, correct me if I'm wrong, but Yaklica really means sort of foraging for berries and mushrooms and being in the woods and being one with nature, looking at the landscape, looking at the deer and the animals, and just encompassing everything that's in the forests.
Yes, yeah. It's happy hunting is the direct translation, but hunting refers to just roaming the woods and looking for all the treasures that are in the Swedish woods. Like at this time of year, it's full. It's really full. I was at my cabin this weekend and picked blueberries and lingonberries and chanterelles and stuff. And those are the treasures, and that's what the name refers to. Yeah. So Jaktlycka, happy hunting. And yeah, it's a beautiful. Hello, Joe.
Hello, Joe. Hello, Jamie.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, and it of course also refers to the original wine, because the wine from Grythyttan is called jakt, which is hunting.
Correct.
And that's where we got it in the beginning, and then we thought, it's the happy hunting of these things that is the Mackmyra thing. Sorry, this is my dog. She's doing a bit of Doris.
It's all right. We've been asked, what's their name?
Doris.
What's the mascot? Doris. Oh, excellent.
Doris.
No, it's turned up. We've seen on a previous episode, I believe. I'm sure of it. Yeah. I just follow up. I've got the lovely bottle here. I'm down in Italy, in case anyone's wondering why I'm looking a bit tanned and everything. I've been in the sun quite a lot. But yeah, we've got some lovely artwork that goes with this, which is inspired by John Bauer, the famous. Yeah, there we go. Some of his famous artwork. I was looking this up earlier, and it was an inspiration for like the Dark Crystal, is what my generation knows it for, as well as all the historic folklore and things like that, which are really part of the theme of the whiskey that we're doing.
Hold on a second. I need to put out the dog outside of this door here.
Okay.
It was quite interesting, John. So he was around like almost a century ago, and he was creating this mythology in Swedish mythology. And the inspiration you'll see in the colors of the bottles and things. They kind of took all the colors and brought it through into the bottle of the. And you can actually see it. You can see the greens and the yellows and the. It really is spectacular.
It's a lovely one. It's very autumnal looking as a bottle. It's the color scheme that they've got there. I'm not sure we've got the actual artwork picture of the bottle that we're using as well. That's really shows it off. So you can kind of see it in the background behind us now.
Yeah, Angela, we as a company release 2 new limited editions every year around autumn and summer, and we kind of incorporate what what's going on in the nature, so to speak, with the seasonals that we release. Apple Bloom with the Calvados cask, and then now with Yak Liquor, we've now gone back to the berries. Can you tell us a little bit about this? Why we do this?
Well, I think it's a pleasure to follow the seasons. It's simply that. It's simply the fact that it's more interesting to get something that is part of your everyday now, like the light stuff in the spring and the more heavy stuff in the autumn. And that is, I think our customers always showed us that. So it's I think it has just kind of gone that way from the beginning.
It's become a bit of a tradition, hasn't it? Really, I mean, it's the customers expect it from us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it is.
It's exceptional.
And then, of course, it's like sometimes it's more experimental, and sometimes it's more of the Swedish thing, and sometimes it's more classical. So that always varies. So I got the question here from Anders. What decides if the box is to be solid color or shaded? I think the marketing people decide that.
Yeah. In a nutshell. Yeah.
But if you guys want to take out the
bottom.
Yeah.
The pictures, the John Bauer pictures, and then you look at these pictures here. You if you put them up again, you see all the beautiful colors there in this box.
That's
and
right.
that is the colors of the magical Swedish forest that has been incorporated. And in this case, all of them are in the John Bauer pictures. So we wanted to have all of them here, and hence the shading in this case.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
A good question, Anders.
So back in spring, we were all the way over in Japan with green tea and the green tea that you brought out. And now we're all the way back home in Sweden almost. And I've forgotten the pronunciation. Grihitan?
Yes.
Grihitan. Yeah. So Swedish winery. I know it from the UK as country wine, which is what we called it, this hunting wine of taking berries and foraging them. And I've even made blackberry wine and things myself. So 2 quick questions really on it. So it's Lingonblue and blueberry wine is what you've got with these. Is that one single wine as a flavour, or is it a lingonberry and a blueberry?
It's one single wine. And if you go out in the forest, like I did this weekend, and I think it's the last weeks of blueberries now, but they grow side to side. And when you have one of these things, when you pick them, like you have like a little box with a comb on.
Oh, yeah.
You just don't do this. You pick many of them.
You do with blackberries.
And there, when you go there, when you pick the blueberries, you also get the lingonberries because they are side by side.
I see.
Even though the lingonberries are a bit later, so when you have it in the box at home after, you need to take away the unmatured whiter lingonberries that are not ready. So you keep some of them, but I would say like 90% or 95% is blueberry, and the rest is lingonberry.
Okay.
So
and have you known the winery long? Because I know we've done ones in the past. Have you known the winery long? Do we have a relationship with them going back?
Yes. Yeah. So it's the story is that we got to know them. They had a Swedish oak cask, which they were testing to mature the cloudberry wine in that. This was in the beginning of Mackmyra and also of Grythyttan. We kind of started at the same point, I think, more or less. And so they called us and said, Per called us and said, would you like to have that Swedish oak cask? Because I have already done my trials with the cloudberry wine. And we said, yes, please. Yeah. That's a great thing. The Swedish oak, we already know it. And then I went to see him. I went there with some colleagues, and we saw all his, production plant and all the natural stuff that he did. And it's like really, really beautiful wines. The blueberry and lingonberry wine, his mulled spiced wine, excellent stuff. His birch wines, his wild raspberry wines, his vinegars, the cloudberry wine, etc. And it was like, it's really difficult not to fall in love with such a production. Really, really lovely. And Per, he's like a super nice guy, straightforward. And yes, let's do this together. And then at the end of our visit there, I was like, glühwein, the mulled wine. Wouldn't that be interesting to test? And he went away, and he came back with a little box with spices that he got in the end of his after he had done the wine. This was the dry stuff that was in the end of the of the casserole, sort of. And so he gave me these spices, and he said, why don't you go home and try with these? So I went back home. I took some, as I always do with a 30-liter cask, I took some whiskey, and the guys in the production said, are you going to destroy the whiskey with that stuff? And I said, well, okay, it's only 30-liter. We can have it as a staff gift if it's not good. And they're kind of, yeah. Give the bad stuff to us, do that. And then and that was a test. And then I brought it to the Stockholm Beer and Whiskey Festival the year after, and we tasted it at the tasting there. And all the people at my tasting, they were my guinea pigs there about that stuff. And they were like, oh, wow, this is really cool. Well, yes, do more of this. And that's how that one started. And then, things continued to evolve, and the birch wine. And and then I've ordered different batches with a bit more sweetness. And then, so things have evolved. And sometimes I call him and I say, what do you have right now that I could use? And then he said, well, I still have some of that wild raspberry wine. It's only 500 liters. And it's like, okay, I want that. Let's buy it. And then we'll season some casks with that stuff. And then we'll do some 30 liters and some 100 and 128 liters. And then it goes from there. And most of the stuff is well, if you know a producer, you know that they do good things. Yeah. You don't have to do the tiny, super little test with everything when you know they have good things. So the 30 liter is good. And if you see that it, for example, if it would be really a high tannin coming out of it immediately, then you stop after 6 months, and then you have something that is good already. But you don't do it more if that would be the case. That hasn't happened, but
the $1 million question, Angela, is what happens to the wine when you're finished with it?
I was going to say this, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have a staff party in the,
You don't. Really?
No.
Just checking.
I always get that question, and I always tell people, well, we have a staff party, and then it's gone. But no. So it really depends on the alcohol that is left, and if it is a good alcohol content in the wine after we have used it, we can reuse it. But often when it goes down under 5% of ABV, it's like it's losing all the fine aromatics because they are held in the alcohol. So therefore, it's a sad thing, but we are not using it anymore.
Okay.
It goes on to a better life, though. So.
Okay.
Angela,
Yeah.
some of the challenges when you're deciding to make these seasonals. I mean, the inspiration. How do you get this product to fruition and on time? Because you're taking wine and saturating barrels, and then you're watching the progress of it, and there's an age time space that takes to get you to a point where you know it's ready. I mean, these challenges must be immense, and every year you have to produce two. So how do you do that? How do you know?
Well, you don't.
You don't. You just
No, you don't. You kind of go with the timeline of each batch that you have put in. So with the Lingon and blueberry wine batches that we have done, we have done several, and in this one there are four
Right.
different batches. The first one was set 10 years ago, so that's actually not a finish, because it's 10 years on the wine casks. It's 4 years on the previous ex-bourbon casks, and then 10 years on the wine cask. So that is a lot of tannins and a lot of wine tones and a bit more of heaviness on that note. So if we would use only that, I would say we would need to have a lot of lighter whiskey as well to balance that up. And then we have stuff that we put on 2014 and 2016, and the last one was put on 2018. It was 1 year in the cask when we
Right.
decided to use it now, and
Yeah.
that was excellent. That was like so fresh, so juicy. That was the juiciest of all. And if you would say, okay, Angela, here you have 4 different ones. Which one do you choose? I would choose the youngest one.
Yeah.
And that's like to drink like this. It's marvelous. But to make this bottling, we had 4 of them, and they contribute with different personalities, you could say.
Yeah. Yeah. And Angela, we've done this before. We had a Yaklita before, didn't we? As
Yes.
limited series in the Moment range. How does it differ from that?
Well, and we also had a Jakt Lycka in the, I think in somewhere 2000.
Yeah, special
7,
number
8,
6, I
5.
think.
Special number
5.
yes.
There we go. Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't remember which year it was released, but it was like somewhere 2008, 9. So that was the first one that we did.
Right.
And then we have had the Moment Jakt Lycka, which was the Moment Jakt Lycka was, if I'm not mistaken, the one that was put into place in 2014, and that was 100% of those casks in that.
Okay.
So there you sense only that cask, and here it is. It's like very fruity and berry, like the one I told you from the youngest one, but a bit older,
Right.
a bit more body, a bit more of everything.
And in this cast, in this particular this year's release, you've got Swedish oak, you've got American oak, which was seasoned with Oloroso, you've got PX, and there's a story, I believe, that you've used some 30-liter casks
Yes,
to add
yes.
some smokiness, perhaps.
Yeah. So it's there is just below 1% of smoky whiskey in this mix, and that comes from some smoky and extra smoky casks that I thought were lovely, and I just wanted to add a little extra pepperiness to the batch, and a little more of a backbone, which is if you are blending and you have your 1% or just below or just above, that doesn't give any smokiness, but it gives a beautiful backbone. Just as if you're cooking and you have your black pepper in the mix, it doesn't give you, unless you use a lot of it, of course, but if you just use a little, it just gives you some extra spiciness, and everything else just gets like, it shines with the pepperiness. So it's the famous 1 + 1 is 3 recipe.
So with the casks, the seasoning, how long is the wine kept in the casks, roughly?
So the wine itself, it's always only 2 months. Unless
short.
So that's like it's not a secret. That's the Mackmyra way. Unless we buy the Calvados casks or we buy something that is an ex cask from somewhere, then the people who has sold us the cask, they tell us how long they have had the wine or the stuff inside of it before. But if it's a seasoned cask by us, by Mackmyra, simple, 2 months. 2 months in the cask. We leave a couple of drops in the bottom, like a little wet content, but that's like just a few drops. And then it's the cask together with the stuff that has been there for 2 months that does the job.
And what was the rough age range of what goes into this? You kind of hinted at dates and things earlier, and I think we can kind of someone did actually ask how old is it, which I always know varies, and we are no age statement, and it's not the most important thing, but it's always good to ask.
Yeah. So only talking about the yacht wine finish stuff, that is between. Let me see what I wrote it down here. It's.
I always remember the notebook. Every time.
Yes. So it's between 5 and 14 years old. The hunting wine.
Yeah.
In the mix, which is 30% of the mix. And then the rest is between 7 and 12 years old.
So the lingonberry and the blueberry are 30% of the mix.
Yes.
In terms of the wine. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Angela, how big was this run? How big was that? Because it's a limited edition. When it's finished, it's finished. We normally only do 10 to 15,000 bottles.
Yeah. We've done 15 this time.
Okay, so it's a nice size. Okay.
Yes.
That's good to hear.
It's nice to do that, because then when it's you can enjoy it for a year maybe if you're lucky, and then it's gone, and then if people like it, you can talk about it, and then you can do something similar in the future, which so this is the third run of the jaktvin finish, happy hunting style, and then in the future I'm sure we will do more, but it will always vary. And it's fun if you're a Mackmyra, if you like what we do, you can compare, and you can save a bottle and do a tasting with them, or you can talk with your friends and make them envious, and what you had and so on.
I struggle with the saving a bottle thing. I've never understood this collecting thing. It doesn't happen in my house.
No, mine neither, John. That's for amateurs.
I used to collect stuff when I was younger. When I started working with whiskey, I bought a lot of nice bottles. But then now I'm more like, if I have it here, it's gonna be drunk, and that's the thing, and it's gonna be enjoyed.
You don't live forever. So Joe's asking, have you ever considered doing a rook in a Swedish wine cask?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, we have. But we haven't
Joe.
released anything yet.
Watch the space, Joe. It's coming.
Yeah.
Speaking of, have we decided? Can we please taste this, Angela? Will you take us through a tasting on this? I'm getting thirsty. I don't know about you, John, but
Yeah, I think
let's taste it. I think everybody
I've had
wants
mine
to
sat
try it.
here, breathing nicely. I'm in a straightforward Glencairn.
Right.
Angela, what's this on the bottle before we start? Is that lingonberry or is it just berries?
Let me have a look.
There appears to be two different ones, so I'm going to say it's
Yeah.
both. Yeah.
Possibly both. It's a really nice logo,
Yeah.
though.
Mm.
Yeah. I think it looks more like blueberries to me, the ones below, and lingonberries, the one above.
I think it's lovely. It's such a nice logo.
Okay, I need to go away again. I need to get myself a glass. I wasn't really well prepared.
That's
One
fine.
Angela.
Oh, she's gone.
We're going to call
she'll be
Angela
back.
Scarlet Pimpernel going forward, not the Chief Nose Officer.
Shall I just say that if anyone's looking to get this now, it's been scrolling along the bottom. We're launching it today. I know quite a few people have had some samples that we've sent out, which hopefully they're able to enjoy it with us tonight. But it's on pre-order on mackmyra.co.uk. And so you can reserve your bottle and we're going to ship them out. And so you'll get that hopefully on the 2nd of September, which is when it's launched. So you have the very first bottles available. And then from the 2nd, you're going to see it out and about everywhere and can support local shops and everything where you can who are going to be stocking it, as well as it will be available on the site.
We've been only allocated 790 bottles in the UK. So first come, first serve, I'm afraid, John. So they're going to go quick, guys. I'd get on there and get a bottle in now, beat the rush. Have you tried it, John?
I've had a couple of sips of it, yes. I had to catch up with everything. So I've been going through a bit of the recent ones with Moment 22, the Mando Dyer release we recently had. This one, it's a Mackmyra seasonal whiskey. Immediately.
It is, isn't it? It screams it on the nose.
Yeah. Did you find a glass? Hopefully you have one. Yes. Opening a new bottle.
Skull.
There you go. New bottle, old glass.
I love the color of it as well. It's very dark, eh?
I mean, yeah.
You just get that spiciness on the nose, 46.1%. Angela, what should we be picking up on the nose?
Well, I think it has a beautiful fruitiness and spiciness to it. That's like the main things. And the spiciness is really, it's really forest-like. It's really like you have all the greens and you have all the
spiciness, and you get the bark like tree bark almost.
Yes,
it's definitely got a depth to it than
cedar wood.
It is autumnal. It's a class easily. Yeah, yes. It screams everything about it.
It's got the freshness.
I would say the shortbread with strawberries and honey on the nose. That's a good.
That's good, Joe. That is very good.
But I would say the spiciness comes a lot from the Swedish oak as well. So the very like oriental kind of spices, like
taste of Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween.
Well, maybe it's always that power of suggestion. The moment someone says it, it's like.
Well, it's like Mark saying it's almost pine sap screams autumn. Thanks, Mark. It's pretty good because when Joe said honey, I got honey immediately, and now that Mark said pine sap, I'm also picking up the pine. There's a lot going on here.
Okay. So the fruitiness depends on where you pick your aroma, but the spiciness is the gingery tones, the gingery and woody, sandalwoody kind of. Do you say musk in English?
Yeah.
Like the like the perfume musk.
Correct. And the sweet musk you get,
sort
yeah.
of. So I get that, and then I get the peppery notes and the tobacco notes.
Oh yes.
And then you have some of the green stuff inside of it also. It's a bit of pear, as always, like green pears.
It's lovely, isn't it? I want to taste it.
And then you have your raisins and your dry fruit and honey and yeah, why not shortbread?
Yeah. I'm just reading one of the comments there. Someone's mentioned ginger spice, and I just yes. That's the one. Yeah. Fresh moisture on the ferns of the forest, cranberries, and ginger spice.
You got to try it, John.
Yeah, I think we're there.
Skull, everybody.
Go. Salute.
Salute.
I'm learning.
You get in there, John.
I've learned cheers. Oh, it's almost a bit deceptive. The nose is quite a gentle one when you're on it, and that spiciness is immediately there, and it just... I always think of them as music and the way that it kind of goes and comes back down, and just that lovely warmth. It's autumnal, wintry, perfect one that you want at that time.
Let's get the sweetness as well. Maybe it is ginger you get on it, as Joe says. Halloween in the glass. Mark's pretty on the button.
Almost got that orange.
Brandy snaps is a good call, Mark.
So the fruitiness is there, but it sort of goes together with the spice.
Yeah.
So the spice is quite present.
It's lovely, Angela.
You can definitely get it's more the cranberries for me, but I found some cranberry juice today and tried it just to compare it, because I don't think I've actually had a cranberry in a long time, and it has that. It's not quite the bitter sharpness, but it's definitely there, just on the back when you try it. Yeah. Definitely cranberries.
I wouldn't have thought of that if you.
It's just for me, just on the back of the mouth that you can still just feel it afterwards. It's a lovely. I think it contributes to the spiciness quite well. Warm, spicy autumnal. Yes.
Thanks, Carl.
Yeah.
Some delicious fruity and spicy notes on a cold evening. Absolutely, Sue.
Going back in.
Guys, thank you very much. I think it's been a great evening. Ange, I know you've had a day from hell, and we were probably the last on your list. And thank you for giving up your time. You know, we had to rush you from Sweden to Germany to here, and we want to thank you for coming along tonight. It's been great seeing you, great having you on. Thank you for the lovely whiskey you've made. I hope everybody's enjoyed it this evening. And as John said, pre-order it now. You've got a chance to get a bottle before the rush. And hopefully it'll be delivering next week, John. Is that right?
Yeah, it will be sent out next Tuesday, so it should arrive on Wednesday for most people who are ordering in the UK. So that will be fine. You'll get your first bottle and you can try it next week. And then it's just available on general release. You'll find it lots of places. And if you need any questions about that, then be able to come and ask us questions. We're on Twitter, Instagram, everything, Facebook, of course, if you have any questions, and we can get back to you. But yes, thanks, Angela, for turning up. It's lovely as always, just to have these one-to-one, chats with you to hear about how it all started and comes together. Hopefully, everyone's enjoyed it as well. The people we've had watching. But
Yes,
we'll let you get back to your evening.
Thank you. So are people who are here writing, have they got a sample of it at home, or?
Yes. Yeah,
Some
that's
of
a
them.
good point. It's a good point, Angela. So anyone who hasn't got a sample of this, we're running another tasting on the 10th of September, where you get the core range and a Yakalika, and we'll be doing a tasting on the evening on the 10th of September. So go on to www.co.uk and order your pack, and you can taste it if you do not have one already. But most of the people here tonight do have it, Angela.
Okay.
Yeah.
So most of them, like Joe, do you have a taste of it at home? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear.
Yeah, all sent out on Monday, so hopefully they've arrived. But
Right.
yeah, it's always getting contacted.
It was someone. It was Mark in the US who didn't get it, or
difficult judging the time at the moment with everything going on, and we can only do miniatures to the US, so we're not sure on when that's get there. But yeah, that will be on its way, and hopefully we'll get through the postal system. Is that Mark Gillespie?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. I know that one was definitely sent. So yeah.
Yeah, because I got an email about him. He was wondering, is it still going to happen? I haven't got my sample, and then it was you, Shane, who someone answered him anyway.
Matt, yeah. So Angela, we'll follow up tomorrow. John, if he hasn't got it, we'll try and ship him out something. We'll send him another one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone for joining, and I hope you enjoy it. And and please welcome to visit us in the magical forest up at Gävle in the Whiskey Village. If you haven't, or if you have, come visit us again. We'll be pleased to receive you up there. Or in Stockholm.
Worth a visit.
We also have a warehouse in Stockholm, and if you just pass by Stockholm, that's also fine.
And also thank you to Gareth and to Richard for answering all the questions tonight, guys. You've been great as always, and to Connor on the back end for making this happen tonight. Thanks everybody for joining in. And if you need any more information, please, as John says, get hold of us on any of the social medias. Otherwise, get hold of Angela, and we'll all be trying to answer as many questions as we can.
Go through us first. She's had a busy enough day.
But lovely to see you all, and thank you very much for joining tonight, guys. Take care and look after yourself. Angela, au revoir. Take care. Bye.
Yeah.